This video is meant to show you how to find the volume of a solid object using water by displacement method. So if I wanted to use this displacement method, I would start by pouring water into a graduated cylinder and recording the initial volume. Notice the initial volume is 60 milliliters. They're also reporting the volume in cubic centimeters. And you can see the conversion factor up here. 1 milliliter of liquid water is equal to 1 cubic centimeter. Now, next I would add the object that I'm interested in finding the volume of and place it in the graduated cylinder. Notice this object takes up space, and so it displaces water when placed in the graduated cylinder. The object causes the water to rise to the amount that is equal to the volume of the cylinder. Therefore, if I read both the initial volume, which was 60 milliliters, and the final volume, which we're estimating is about 72 milliliters, I can subtract the final volume and the initial volume to find the volume of the object. So notice again, because we're finding the volume of a solid object, they're converting milliliters to cubic centimeters. Therefore, starting with a final volume of 72 cubic centimeters minus a volume of 60 cubic centimeters gives you a volume of 12 cubic centimeters for this object. Now I want to show you one more example. Notice we have a tank of water here that is 100.00 liters in volume. And notice I have 4 objects, each of the same volume. They have different masses, however. So I'd like you to think, if I were to place this blue object and this yellow object of the same volume into my tank of water, would they displace the same volume of water given that they're different masses? Let's test it. First, I'm going to put the blue object of 6 kilograms into the water. Notice the final volume is 105.00 liters, and I started at 100. Therefore, this object has a volume of 5 liters. Now, will the volume it displaces be any different if the mass is higher? Looks like not. Again, my final volume is 105 liters. Therefore, this object is also a 5-liter object. So the mass of the objects has nothing to do with how much water it displaces. The displacement is only related to the volume. Now finally, I wanted to show you one more thing. If you have an object that is less dense than water, and we'll talk about what that means in the following lessons, it will float in water. Notice the displacement now is only 104 liters. So you cannot use the water displacement method unless your object totally sinks in the water so that you can find the entire volume. Notice if I pull this whole thing down, it's 105 liters. And that's going to be similar here. This is even less dense, so it's floating more. It's only displacing 2 liters, but when I pull it down, now you can see it's displacing all 5.